Let me come to you quickly, Mr. Abdullahi. What is happening in Benue State? Is it politics taken too far, considering the fact of the matter and how things are playing out? Consider, first and foremost, the allegations by the impeached speaker who says that some of these issues are brought to the table. The big question will be, these issues are not coming forward now until the governor defected to the PDP.
Well, thank you, Sean, for having me. Let me see. I think the starting place for this discussion, I will have to borrow the president's words when he said, all politics are local. So having said that, each situation is unique in its own locality. I think for the Benue issue, for at least about 8 members of the Legislative House, they have qualified, like my learned friend over here spelled out the procedure. I'm not going to do that. He has already done that. So for this impeachment notice, 1/3, and I think they consider what the 1/3, whether they will have at least the 2/3 at the end of the day when the process is complete. Now that's another issue entirely. Again, I disagreed with the governor when he said that the court has issued an injunction and then they don't have to do their work until the substantive matter has been decided by the court. You see, there is a clear separation of powers in Nigeria in the constitution. The legislative arm also of each, whether it's the National Assembly or the state, has to be allowed to carry out their functions. You can't say if there is an established case of gross misconduct by the governor that the legislative house cannot perform its duty until they hear from the court. That's not how it is done. You cannot go as the legislator tell the court when to sit or when not to sit. So that aside, I disagree with that.
But let me, the question I asked Mr. Abdullah is the fact that is it not politics take it too far, considering that the lawmaker is coming forward with allegations of corruption against the governor when the governor defected to the PDP. The question will be, why has this not come to the fore before now?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm telling you. In this case, especially now after we have seen the issue of defections and stuff like that, you see political realignment, alignment, and yes, you cannot actually divorce politics from decisions like that, actually, So, but what is really fundamental here is whether there is sufficient prima facie evidence against the governor that this group of lawmakers are actually basing their call for impeachment on. If there is, it doesn't really matter. The politics put aside. Then the court, we should look at the process, and also we should look at whether they actually meet the requirement of the Constitution.
All right, Mr. Abdullah, let me quickly ask you also this question, and is the fact that for Benue State now, do they form a quorum to sit, and can they sit in the absence of the clerk of the house or his deputy?
There's something you have to get clear, and that is, if the rules and proceedings indicate clearly that that House of Assembly is on recess, if it is clear that that House is on recess, then the only reason why they can convene is a clear emergency. And they must be invited to reconvene by a substantive speaker of the House of Assembly in conjunction with the clerk of the House. Indeed, the entire paraphernalia of the House of Assembly must be present and working before any valid proceedings will be entertained. There's a clear and present danger in the current situation because it is likened to when we were in the House of Assembly, when the then federal government, wanted to juggle up situations in preparation for an impending election. The election of 2019 is not far away, and if this is what is going on, I envisage, sadly, that other houses of assembly where the opposition is in power must be alert and watch it. There is clearly stated in the Constitution steps that must be taken. And you remember that the Speaker made allegations that are criminal in nature. Those allegations, as my colleague will rightly accord with me, must be proved beyond all reasonable doubt. They are criminal allegations. If you allege fraud, if you allege whatever it is that is criminal in nature, you must prove it beyond reasonable doubt. And these, plus the fact that you must follow meticulously the steps outlined and the numbers outlined in section 188, subsection 1, or down to subsection 11. If any of the steps is not adhered to or followed, everything you have done is a nullity ab initio. And it is dangerous for our polity, it is unfair, and my considered opinion is that the National Assembly should take a look at section 188 and make an amendment to the effect that if anybody engages in a fruitless destabilization of government, which is equal to a democratic coup d'etat, that person must be held to account for criminal offense.
All right, let's close the program and let me allow Mr. Abdullahi to give us his closing statement as it stands right now. If you look at Kano, you look at Imo, and you look at Benue, you may not be able to diffuse the issues of defections from all of these impeachment proceedings that are ongoing. How do you hope that the party will be able to resolve all of these issues? There are several other issues across some of the states being controlled by the APC. Just in about 30 seconds so that we can close.
Well, at least one thing about my learned friend here that he said, he made some kind of perception allegation about the federal government's hands in this thing. I think that has to be divorced from this discussion. I think, like the president said, all politics are local. These are things that are happening at the local places, in those states that we are seeing today. And be it as it may, the federal government or President Muhammad Buhari doesn't need to actually follow this kind of means to win election in 2018 like he actually alluded to. He has won some of these states fair and square when those states were under opposition. He will still win there even if the governors defect. So I think we don't have problem in using crude methods to actually institute impeachment one way or the other. But be it as it may, what I would say as a final note is this: wherever you think something wrong has been done, there is court. After whatever happened, if it is illegal to impeach.
All right, so we need to go now because we're out of time, clearly. Mr. Aliyu Abdullahi, a lawyer and a member of the Buhari support group, thank you so much for your time on the program. Mr. Ben Chuks Nwosu, a former Speaker pro tempore in the Anambra State House of Assembly, also a lawyer. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time on the program. That's our show for tonight. Many thanks for being part of it, everyone. I'm Sean Akimbaloye. Bye-bye.